Hello, this is Dr. Dawn Michael, your politically incorrect sex counselor, bringing you information that you may not hear anywhere else. So, today we're going to talk about thoughts that become exaggerated because people give energy to them. So, let's talk about the fact that each of us has energy and we can direct that energy to the positive or the negative. And when somebody has a sexual issue, usually they're directing energy towards that sexual issue, and it is a negative energy. And so what happens is that sexual issue becomes even bigger than it is. So it might start out as something small, or it might be something that you don't notice, but then you start to focus on it, and all of a sudden it becomes a bigger and bigger issue. And that's because, again, you're giving it energy, you're giving it weight, and you're putting your focus onto it, which in return you get 10 times back. So if you think about it, if you put a positive energy out and you think about things in a positive way, many times it'll come back to you in a positive way and you'll feel good about it. You'll notice if you're thinking about something positive, you're generally feeling better. You may have a smile on your face, you may be laughing, the weight on your shoulders feels lifted, and you just feel better. Now, that's a choice. A thought comes into your mind, and you actually have a choice to think about it in a positive way, placing your energy, directing your energy in a positive way, or you have a choice to place it in a negative way, meaning that what you are thinking about, you have now given it power, energy. In some instances, people feel like it has control over them. But in reality, it doesn't have control. It just has the energy you've given it. You have chosen to focus on it. And when you hyper focus on something, it becomes in your, in your mainframe, what you're viewing. So if you're looking out, it's right there, it's in front of you. It's something that is on your mind. It's something that you've actually manifested, so it becomes real. It becomes living. It becomes breathing. So this sexual issue now starts to take over your life. And this is what happens to many people, is they have built it up and given it so much weight that it begins to take over their lives. And if you really were to put it in a category, it probably would be in a very small box. So if you were to give all of your thoughts, your worries, things that go on in your life, if you were to label them, your sexual issues probably wouldn't be any bigger than some other issues that you have in your life. But you've given it so much weight and so much thought that it's been blown out of proportion. And this is what happens to many people. Now, one of the other issues when it comes to sexual thoughts or when it comes to sexual problems is that it is tied into the way that you feel as far as getting aroused, being aroused. There's a chemical component to it. There can be an adrenaline rush to it. So all of those things add to the fact that you're hyper focused on them. So now you've got chemicals going on in your body, hormones going on in your body, your thoughts. So again, you're giving it weight, you're giving it energy, and it feels out of control. It feels like you can't breathe. It feels like it's taking over. And sometimes when people get in the throes of it, they can't even take a deep breath. They feel dizzy, their heart races, their stomach hurts. All of these things you are creating, you are manifesting. And what I'm trying to break through to some of you who are feeling this is saying that you do have choices. You're not victimized by it. You can control it and you can get help. So one of the very first things that you need to realize is that when the thought comes in your mind, you have a choice, positive or negative. And at each step, you have a choice to stay on that negative track stay on that negative track or to switch over to the positive track. Now, if you've been focusing on this for years, you've basically trained your brain to go down this negative path. So it's going to take some time to kind of readjust your thinking and understand that you do have a choice to think a different way. So you need to give yourself permission to not focus on this, not beat yourself up about it, but to find other things in your life that are positive that you can start to shift your thinking. Until you realize that you have control over it, you're going to feel out of control. You're going to feel victimized. So it's really just tweaking your thought a little bit in the very beginning of understanding that when the thought comes in your mind, you have options. You can go with it or you can begin to change it. And this is very important if you're trying to deal with a sexual problem and try to make it so that it doesn't take over your life, so that you can be in a relationship, so that you feel good about yourself. It's very important that you make a conscious decision to stop giving it so much weight, so much power. This is on the road to being in control. This is on the road to healing, and this is how you start doing it. When I work with people, this is some of the things that we talk about. These are some of the tools that I help people use so that they can dig themselves out of this hole or this box that they have put themselves in, where sometimes they just feel like, the walls are closing in. And once you realize that you are actually in control of your own destiny, that you can create your own reality, so to speak, in choosing the positive over the negative, choosing to manifest good thoughts as opposed to choosing to manifest bad thoughts, you are in control of all of that. And so once you realize that you have a choice, then you can start working on it. And that's where the real progress happens. And people often say, oh, this is not easy, it's so difficult, I can't do it. That's, again, you're just putting yourself down. You're just focusing on the negative. I can't do it, it's not hard. See, again, that is choosing to victimize yourself instead of saying, I can do this. It's a challenge. It's a challenge that I am going to take on because I value my life, because I value how I feel about myself, because I want to have a better life and people around me and relationships. So you have to watch the way that you talk to yourself. If you find yourself oftentimes putting yourself down or saying, I can't, or it's hard, or it's difficult, those are all buying into that negative self-talk. And of course, it's going to make it worse. And of course, it's going to feel like it's more difficult because you're basically, again, buying into the negativity as opposed to, I can, I will. It's a great challenge. I'm up for the challenge. I can do it. You see, already thinking those thoughts will make you feel better. Just that little tweak right there can send you on a completely different pathway. And this is very important when it comes to dealing with sexual issues because most people will just feel so helpless and like they don't have control or they don't have a choice. But that's not true. You actually do. So I hope that this video has helped you or at least given you some hope that you can go on a different pathway if you are struggling, and I know so many people are, and you don't have to. You don't have to live your life feeling like you're victimized by this. There are other choices and there are other options. And thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people have overcome their sexual issues. So you can do it too. All right, if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave your comment, and share with others. As you know, I believe everyone deserves to have a healthy sex life, and so do you. Make it a great day.